Busy,
That's good.
insane. Busy and insane. But
In a good way, though? Like,
making order out of chaos.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, this room looks a bit more assembled than last time I saw it.
It's getting there. There's a whole other room full of tools that was
your
just
makerspace.
much worse. And then my main work table, I found a free desk on Craigslist today, so I replaced it because the work table was too big to move around in that room anyway. So that room just fully exploded again, and I'm putting it back together.
All right.
I may
Twitch.
ask one of the two of you, probably Matt, because he's got the better one, to 3D print something for me. Because
wow,
it does. Well,
I'm thinking of. I mean, I may have to design it, but and I don't really have a good CAD program.
What's free websites?
Yeah. But
what's the part?
But what I wanted, I want to make angled wall mounts for all of my my controller charger docks. So I got to make a custom one for each one.
Controller charger. Okay, you'll have to send me a picture of that.
Yeah, so I have specific docks. I'd have to build the mount proper. So that's, because I don't think there's anything I can pull from a whatever.
I mean, if they're like popular chargers, then there's probably something on Thingiverse. Otherwise,
maybe. I guess I could take a look.
I would take a look. There's like 8 million things on Thingiverse.
I've become pretty proficient at modeling, so we can modify it to be like even just like aesthetically what you want it to look like and whatever.
Because I know people have a lot of wall mounted. I mean, and I'm not even gonna mount it on a wall. I'm gonna probably mount it on this inside of this old entertainment center. But I know people mount the controllers themselves.
Yeah.
They have wall mounts for those, but I'm like, if I'm gonna put things up and away, I'd like to take the chargers I have and use that and mount those, and that will just keep the chargers from being all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is John's distance from the microphone.
Just if you can like put a link in the Discord of what one of those chargers are, so I should just look into it.
Yeah, I have 3 different ones, and they're all completely different. So
okay, yeah,
I'll
either one of them or all of them, whatever. I'll just start googling around and see.
Yeah.
Well, if you're making a mount, you're definitely going to want to use an FDM printer, I'd say, over a resin.
Yeah. That's definitely the thought.
Unless if I was going to cast it in pure aluminum.
It doesn't need to be that.
But that's the thing that I'm almost able to do.
Maybe. I mean, if I were to do that, that might be what I'd have to do for the Xbox charger. Or at that point, I might just basically make a mini plastic shelf.
You and I are like going down the same path, Matt, because I'm like, man, I should be able to make some aluminum stuff now. Yeah. I was watching videos, I'm like, it's not too difficult.
I think it's SLM printing where they like it's metal powder that they set with lasers. So it's like selective laser melting printing.
Because it broke.
Huh?
But I can see you're reacting to what I'm saying.
Yeah, John can't hear us anymore. I don't know what he did.
It's probably on his end.
Oh, guaranteed.
Are your headphones plugged in?
He can't hear you say that.
We just go ahead and run a 3-minute ad break.
Okay. There we go. I just had to restart or change my input back and forth in Discord. So I can hear. All right, we all sound good though, so
I'm running a 3-minute ad break.
Okay, so what are we going to talk about?
TJ's got a weird subreddit and another thing.
I saw Dunk.
I saw Shang-Chi and the other one. Kate.
We got back on Disney Plus starting yesterday, so I watched Muppets.
Take Manhattan?
Muppets, no, Haunted Mansion, which I think is a Disney Plus exclusive.
No, I watched Dunk, and I'm trying to think of any other movies that came out recently that I've seen. Nothing really.
Right. John, you got your drink already, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then we'll get mine.
All right. Whoa.
Whoa.
Oh no, the Steam Deck got delayed.
Oh no.
It's not going to be available until next year.
The one video game system I'm truly waiting for.
Oh, TJ's yelling over there.
Uh-oh, my camera broke. It was definitely turned off somehow.
Matt.
Yeah, John.
I can hear what's happening.
I don't know, my camera broke. So, I don't know how to fix it. Wait, hold on. I think I got it. What?
It doesn't sound like that. Fix your camera. I think you're gonna need to.
Oh no, I got to reset all my settings. Oh man, that's annoying.
Yeah, see? Hey Matt, check out this.
It didn't reset all my settings just to get. Well, yeah, I have one of those too. I actually don't know, like, how does that work on Twitch? Like, if you're in a legal state, can you just smoke whatever?
I think so.
They don't have any, like, weird TikTok rules. Like, have you ever, like, looked into TikTok's rules on what you can post? It's insanely strict.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Like, not even a hint of, like, nudity or whatever, and, like, no.
And then you
like,
let it.
You get flagged
Here
for
we go.
cursing.
Can you smoke weed on Twitch? Let's see here. Can you smoke weed? Smoking weed on a Twitch is allowed if you live in a country or region where marijuana is legal. In fact, Snoop Dogg smoked a blunt in a 2018 stream just a few months after it was legalized.
Yeah. Well, luckily, this is definitely Delta 8 weed, so we're good. Everything's...
Smoking cigarettes is not against Twitch's terms of service. They advise against it.
Oh.
You guys are streaming from Illinois.
Luckily, it didn't reset all my settings. It just fucked up the exposure.
Yeah.
Can you vape on stream? It is far more common to see someone vaping on stream than it is to smoke. Twitch's guidelines don't prohibit it. They do advise against it. The likelihood of you coming into trouble for vaping is low. But if you're worried or don't want to put off certain viewers, try to vape off screen.
If you don't want to put off certain viewers, then stop giving a fuck what people think.
Keys are on vapes on stream.
Fuck off!
Johnny 1P, a viewer of the show, and he's got his own stream. He vapes on stream as well.
Well, I want to vape too.
I don't vape, but I don't vape nicotine.
The closest I would do to vaping on stream would be eating Taco Bell.
It's just as bad for your health.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if you're only coming in right channel, or if for some reason I stopped hearing left channel.
I can check the stream.
You're all right channel for me.
No, it sounds normal on stream.
Okay, let me unplug and replug and see if that helps.
Let me unplug and replug.
I got 3 places I could do it.
I got my vape supplies, guys.
That's not vape.
I mean, this one is.
I saw a lighter.
Oh no, this is a an inhaler.
Oh, that's a vape.
Okay.
The whatever oil is in these things or whatever, my lungs are not super big fans of it.
Yeah. Right. No, I get that.
All right, I'm better now. So let's get started.
We're just
Vape Nation. Now I'm gonna cough for 7 minutes.
Well, I was about to say yeah. Okay. No, I like to vape. I'm vaping CBD because I've never smoked cigarettes in my life.
Yeah, you
but
have.
If I used to,
if he did it.
The ritual of smoking and deep breathing I find very relaxing. That's like the thing about smoking that is the deep breathe, because like literally when you smoke a cigarette, it's literally like 2 minutes of you taking deep breaths.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like there is some like calmingness to the ritual. Plus like with all my anxiety issues, I wanted to do CBD. My wife got this CBD oil that she takes. It's like you just put underneath the tongue and like dissolves. But I was like, man, I could try vaping. It's lame, but I miss it. So this is a way to get CBD into my body. That's it.
Into your body.
Without harming my lungs as much as other methods. Although
I mean, you could always boof it though.
I guess weed isn't super bad for your lungs.
Yeah, I think any like burning.
I'm sure anything
not
is bad, but like
But even like I think like pure tobacco cigarettes wouldn't be nearly as bad without like all the additives and shit.
Yeah, they add lots of stuff. Marijuana and lung health. Let's see what the
thing is. Like smoking increases your risk of cancer, but smoking weed also, like the weed part, decreases your risk of a lot of cancer. So it balances out.
Yeah. Yeah. So probably shouldn't smoke marijuana all the time because like it's just like it's bad for your lungs like cigarettes are. But
a doctor named Afro Man gave me slightly different advice.
Oh, okay. Are we ready to start?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do this.
Welcome to Born in the 80s, episode 444. Is that correct? That's what your Twitch stream says.
Yes.
Okay.
444.
Well, welcome. I'm John.
Just 111 more episodes and we'll be the fake phone number from TV.
Hell yeah, boys.
Yes. Yes.
I just was going to look on Libsyn to see what was the last numbered episode I put out. So it was probably a while ago.
Libsyn, of course, our host.
It was episode 420.
It's short for
very long time
Libertarian Syndication. So
yeah, that's what we do. Libertarian Syndication. The only tip. Oh my god, really? I haven't put out 442, 443 yet. I'm too behind. Not too bad. So I've had a busy couple weeks. I mean, we haven't recorded in like a month. I was in a performance of War of the Worlds at Teslacon in Madison, which is a local steampunk convention.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I attended to do this. Man, I just wanted to like yell, nerds!
Oh yeah.
My God, the steampunk nerds are a type of nerd. But I will say this: gotta hand it to them. Man, them costumes,
cool as
they
fuck.
really go all the fuck out with those.
Yeah,
it's like a real thing that is just like, man, these kids got beat up in high school, but they look cool now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I got beat up in high school and I still look like an idiot. So who's the real loser? Anyway, it's really interesting though. I mean, they go all out. They had like all sorts of crazy stuff. They kind of had this year their theme was like War of the Worlds. Like they kind of like the way that their the Teslacon conventions go is each convention kind of has like a storyline theme to it. So this one I think was like they were under attack, and so they had a local theater group perform War of the Worlds, which is fun. It's really short. It's like an hour, so it's a pretty short play, and it's a radio play. So you just
did anybody run screaming from the theater in the middle of it and like start riding?
Yeah, they thought that for sure that aliens were attacking.
Yeah.
based on that. What's really interesting about the War of the Worlds broadcast is that if you listen to it, it really reminds me of like Twitter and like people overreacting to stuff because like I would say a good 75% of the broadcast is like stuff that is obviously fictional.
Yeah.
And then there's just a chunk at the very start when they're mimicking like a radio broadcast getting interrupted from reports of something. And then after like a little bit of a climax, there's just a couple like scenes between people, but it starts with them saying it's not real and it ends with them saying it's not real. So there's
I do think that like reaction it has been greatly exaggerated over the years. I mean, even probably partially from Orson Welles himself to like pump his own shit, you know.
Well, and I think there wasn't really like a panic, but there were definitely people that were like, what the hell's going on? Because if you tuned in late and there's a period where it's literally just like people acting like it's a news service going up to investigate something, and they're playing it like that, which I think is really inventive. When you think about it, it's like one of the, not probably the first, but one of the earliest examples of like a found footage type of story, which is pretty cool. Even though it definitely moves away from that after a while. Because there's a portion when kind of after the big attack happens and all seems lost, there's like a kind of a long play out where it's kind of the rest of the book where, he meets a man who, is kind of crazy and, kind of like, I don't know if you've ever read the book or seen the movies, but it's a character
I've seen
kind of
the
deranged
Tom Cruise film.
Hiding and is kind of creepy, and he meets that guy and gets creeped out by him, and then he happens upon seeing all the monsters dying because they didn't prepare correctly for our bacteria.
Yeah.
Which I think is
way less dumb than water.
Are you talking about
Signs?
I am talking about Signs.
Okay. I love Signs.
75% of the planet is covered in this thing. Should we test it?
If it's poisonous?
Nah.
I feel like if you have the technology to travel to our planet, you would be able to understand that our planet is mostly the thing that kills you.
Or maybe they would just not be naked and have some kind of protection.
Wear a suit. Just a jacket probably would save you.
Yeah.
You'd think that stagnant water vapor in the air would give them kind of like a path to poison.
You're right.
Almost like radiation poisoning and Fallout. So
yeah, exactly. And then
what the hell?
You get enough of it, you get mutations that give you beneficial traits, and you can jump on top of buildings.
Now let's talk about a wind full of spores that make you kill yourself.
Oh, are we talking about The Happening? Is The Happening happening?
I've never seen The Happening, but I know
haven't either.
The plot to be plant spores that make you go crazy. Very, like, I don't know if you've seen
it's a
the
really
Amazonian
interesting
fungus.
concept.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it is, but I think that movie could have been better version of that idea, basically. Because that idea is basically like The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of like the type of zombies that they are.
The cordyceps fungus. Yeah.
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 But
luckily, that's the worst movie M. Night Shyamalan has ever made.
Is it?
No, not even close.
What's the worst Shyamalan?
I think it's got to be the Avatar one.
I don't know what you're talking about. There is no live action Avatar movie in Bob
I completely forgot that he directed that. Yeah. Oh my god. Could you imagine? There's a bunch of stuff conceptually that I really, really like about that movie.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they made the Fire Nation like Indian in descent and in like their thing, which is different than what the anime did or the show did with being very Japanese culture and looking style. I thought that was cool. I was like, that's neat. Let's get another culture in here. That's cool. Like, that's fresh. Everything else was bad. But I thought that was fresh. Dev Patel casted as Aang. Great casting.
It looked pretty good. Like, it had some cool, like, elemental effects.
So we can talk about, I want to talk about this as a segue into what I'm going to talk about. So, but taking the source material of Avatar: The Last Airbender and making it like the most grim, dark, gritty thing ever is really bad. Like, why would you choose to do that?
Well,
like, the show is a comedy,
and supposedly
serious.
he was like a fan of the show. His kids watched it and stuff. So
I think that he was a fan of the show and the fact that he liked it, but then was like, you know how like
he just
like
seems to
fanfic
not
writers write about
understand the
like
show
Sonic and Shadow like murdering people and having sex and doing drugs. That's kind of like what he thought about Avatar. He was like, let's make it more adult and it's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, Avatar: The Last Edgelord. I get that.
Yeah.
Also, Aang was white, right?
I mean,
think right?
All
they
the
didn't
kids
cast...
were white, if I remember.
Yeah. But,
yeah.
I mean, they probably could have done better with that.
I don't know. Like, with stuff that comes from cartoons that's got some kind of anime influence, like usually I can't tell what race the characters are supposed to be.
It's tough. I mean, you're right. They aren't supposed to be a race. They are from a different world than we are.
Yeah.
Now, if you're going to lean,
but with the style and influence of the show, it's a good opportunity to get some diversity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're going to lean into the different,
yes,
the different nations being different cultures,
yes,
it's a perfect fit for your water nations to be indigenous Americans.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether
get some Native American actors in there.
Whether Inuit or regular Native American, or
whatever.
Mixed.
Yeah. Do you ever think they're planning more Avatar universe stuff? Do you think they'll
they're
ever,
doing live action
expand
Avatar right
to
now.
more cultures that are like inspired by actual historical people?
Or if you're going with source material, all of it's all East Asian stuff. So
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, do you ever think they'll get outside of that?
Did you see that Daniel Day Kim is going to be Fire Lord Ozai, which I think is great casting?
That's the dude's dad?
Yeah,
Ozai is Zuko's dad. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, who's gonna be Iroh?
I don't know. All I know is that it does seem like that there are quite a bit of Asian American actors and people working on this, it seems like, which is good, because that is a big part of the style of the show. So.
Speaking of that sort of thing, here's a natural transition.
I was going to transition. Dang.
No, it's fine. You can go. Go ahead.
Can go? Because this is fresh in my mind. All right, well, maybe my transition will work in yours. So,
okay.
So making a movie that is no jokes, very serious and grimdark, Avatar, bad choice.
Mm-hmm.
I did see on Twitter someone complained about the movie that I saw, us having only one joke in the entire film, and to which it was widely panned on Twitter, saying not every movie needs to be a Marvel movie, and not every action movie needs to be full of jokes. I saw Dune in theaters yesterday evening. And that is based off of some very serious sci-fi source material.
Oh, I didn't really follow that. The tweet was complaining that there was only one joke in Dune.
Yes.
That you kept calling it Dunk, and I didn't get what you were
it's
going
Dunk.
to see.
Well, because if you look at the script that they use for the title, the E looks like a C.
I didn't know that's what you were talking. We talked a little bit before this about what we're going to talk about, and I had no fucking idea.
Dunk.
I was like, oh yeah, Dunk. I don't know.
I literally did a Google search for Dunk movie.
Some kind of basketball movie, I guess.
Yeah, it was the sequel to the
Space
Jam
series.
No, Space Jam. There you go. No, so Dune, based on Frank Herbert's book Dune. So I saw the Dune movie.
I saw that as well.
It's very good. I don't think it needed to have more jokes in it. There's like there's like one or two instances of witty banter, but like if you like the whole point is
it's not a universe with a lot of humor. It's a very tough existence.
It's very serious. I mean, it's like when you So I think that this is a thing that has plagued not just Marvel movies, but like action movies in general, as well as like it's just kind of the thought is we need to have like every character needs to be Han Solo. And if you watch Star Wars, there is not a lot of humor in that movie until like Han Solo starts showing up and they start having hijinks with the Death Star and wearing suits that aren't the right size. Like that, you don't need to, like, you just, that bothers me about like, there's like, and I think in Empire there's like maybe a couple jokes. Like it just seems like every character is written to have like, we gotta have some snappy, witty dialogue and write some jokes. I kind of see that as
like just a reflection of how we've become much more glib and sarcastic and and like
you're saying it's
everything has a clapback emoji, you know?
Which I really hate. But you're right. I could see that. I think it's just, I don't like it. But there's definitely the opposite, like Snyder, like the Snyder movies. My God.
Yeah.
You can go the other direction real hard, or like the Avatar, live action movie. It is, there's a balance that could be struck. And I thought the Dune movie worked because it's meant to be this kind of visual, dark masterpiece of betrayal, and it's good. And I love that director.
Plus it was like pretty as fuck.
Holy shit, that's what we had to see it in the theater, because I was like, we got to see this live, and man, is it good. I really like Timothée Chalamet in that too. He does a really good job, as did the mom, who I don't know who she is. She's an actress. I did enjoy though that my wife was like, they really have some dumb names, huh? Paul, Jessica.
That's I
good
can't get
science
that out
fiction
of my
names.
Yeah.
Leo, Paul.
As preparation,
Duncan,
like about
Duncan, Idaho.
About
But I was talking about
that.
That's
I
like
watched the first movie as preparation.
Yeah.
Not knowing anything, and I was just like, "Fucking Paul."
Yeah.
All right, Agent Cooper.
Well, it's like the Atreides are like the America. They're like they have normal names. Everyone else is like weird. But I really like the Harkonnens, the design or the Harkonnens, as they say. I never heard it pronounced that way, but maybe that's right. It's probably right. So I don't think David Lynch cared if he pronounced it correctly in his movie. But it was neat.
The throat singing and shit was rad.
The Lynch movie's awesome. I love that.
No, I'm talking about the new one when they're. I don't know. The Harkonnens, they're like the warrior ones, right?
Oh yeah.
That like.
No, that wasn't the Harkonnens. So there was the throat singing was the Saladar guys, the warrior people that they hire to help them, and they have like those throat singers. Well, God. That movie, I want to see it again. It looks like so cool.
Of basically like zealot paladins, like these
basically
murder priests. Yeah.
But the plot of Dune is pretty interesting. I mean, it is really complicated, and I won't get into the details of how complicated it is, but basically it's kind of like your basic chosen one situation where you have a prince who's been chosen through genetic husbandry and engineering, basically, that you get in to learn a little bit more, basically to just be a super powered guy, and he has the voice which he can use to command people to do things, which only I forget the name, the Bene Gesserits are able to do. But he's able to do it because he's been taught, and they normally don't teach men, but they're testing out to find the perfect human or the perfect being, basically. And so his mom, who is a Bene Gesserit, was married off to his dad to like make a kid, basically. And she was told not to have a son, but she chose to because she was like, I can make the chosen one. And so she did, and she's right, is what you'll find out. Because
the two other important things you need to know about Dune is that their drug is worm poop, and they pee their pants constantly.
Yes, they're constantly drinking their own urine. Anyway, so they go to, but like the plot's important because like it's very Game of Thronesy because it's all about houses, it's all about like power struggles and things.
Well,
and
isn't it inspired a lot by like Middle East history? Like the power struggles there.
Exactly. It has been criticized of being a bit white hero Middle Eastern tropey, Frank Herbert has been. But I think
yeah.
it was written a long time ago in the early 60s.
And plus it's outer space. You just pretend it's not Earth.
Yeah, it's a little maybe a little cringy, but I think beyond that it's a good story. So
it's like maybe don't like use the actual words of like Arabic shit and stuff.
Yeah, I mean there is a lot of that in there. But so it's pretty cool. But basically, the Harkonnens have had Arrakis, which is a planet which has the spice. The spice is life.
And it must flow.
But that's used basically for interstellar travel in the world, in the planet. So it's like the most important resource. And they have complete control over it and have for like, I think over 100 years. And then the Emperor's like, all right, we gotta have the Atreides family take over it because... reasons. Harkonnens have too much power. I don't know, because nobody likes them. They suck. They're weird and gross. And they have bald heads. So I guess that's just the way they're grown. I could look into more details about it, but and so they're like, oh, let's take them over. But it turns out that it's actually like a power play by the Emperor because he knows the Atreides are a little bit too strong. They have the strongest warriors. They're badasses. So he's like, let's make them all go to this horrible planet where there's giant worms destroying everything,
and where
we've
been abusing the population so much, we're pretty sure they're about to rise up.
Let's put them in the worst situation possible, and then let's wait for them to fuck up, and then just take it back and kill all of them and end their family line. And they try, and there's a lot of bad stuff goes down. And that is basically the first movie, because this is Dune Part 1.
Yeah.
For some reason.
It's like the first half of the book.
Yeah, basically. I was like, why did they not like sell it as that? I didn't know about that until like a few months ago when I saw it was like, there's going to be a sequel. And I was like, oh, okay. They could do the next book. Or, no.
I guess maybe they were just worried that like it seems like too much of a commitment if it's Part 1. You're like, I don't want it. I might not see the second one.
It was just surprising that they didn't, like, I was thinking, like, why didn't they just film these both together? Like, because the storyline, there isn't a large time jump or anything in the book, really. I think there is a time jump in the book, if I remember, but it's not significant, like, but I was talking to Lauren about it. I was like, but if you watch this movie, if you watch the David Lynch movie, like, this movie is like 90% of that movie. And then in David Lynch's movie, they just have like a 4-minute montage that's like the last half of the book. And then there's the climactic battle that's the end of the book. And
but
like,
there's no Sting in this movie. I actually looked up. I was like, who plays Sting in this movie? He doesn't show up yet.
It's Dave Bautista. Oh, Dave Bautista isn't the Sting character?
No, he's one of the other dudes. The Sting character.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Finn or something, whatever.
Yes, in the David Lynch version, the Baron's 2 proteges are there, and Dave Bautista's the big angry boy one, and then there's the pretty boy Sting one that I guess didn't show up in the movie, but they got to get like Sting.
Yeah, who's the current Sting? One of the Jonas brothers?
Get Jonas. Get Nick
maybe
Jonas
Britney
up there.
Spears. She can make her own decisions now. So
that's true. Her conservatorship is done. She can become the next Sting. Whatever she wants to do, I support it. But I look forward to her life being ruined by paparazzi again.
Yeah.
It's only
Isn't it crazy that like everyone's like, she's gone nuts, she shaved her head, she like tried to hit
check out
like, people that were
taking photos
her.
up underneath her skirt.
Yeah, like I was like, I don't know, that all seems like pretty normal reactions to being harassed constantly. But
I will say though that the Britney Spears situation did warn every female celebrities you probably should wear underwear. Like, I know you don't want to, but, like, the paparazzi are going to try.
Yeah.
They're awful. Fuck them, but, unless you're like Miley Cyrus and you're just like, I'm just going to be naked all the time anyway. So you can't really get away with
Well, that way that you
me off.
You take the power away.
Exactly. It's like, hey, I mean, Miley Cyrus is like naked on the cover of everything. Who cares? It's not news. There's no surprise here.
TJ, tell us about your subreddit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should probably start with... Should I do that, or should I do the heavy thing to start?
What? All right, why don't you start heavy and one
okay.
and then we can...
I didn't know there was a heavy
Is the subreddit heavy? You know what's heavy? The fucking TikTok that I follow, crime scene investigations or crime scene cleanup TikTok.
Oh, man.
It's like...
That is...
Here's the splotch that's body shaped. We got to clean it.
I've followed a like medical examiner on Instagram for almost a decade now. So I know you're.
It's
TJ,
very morbid.
What's up?
Yes.
What's your sad thing? What's your bad thing?
Not sad or bad. I just had a slight existential crisis this morning, and I want to kind of discuss it because I mean I'm upbeat and positive about this. But I kind of had not necessarily the call of the void, but just the idea of there's a day I'm gonna die. Everything beyond isn't gonna be nothing. I just won't. I just won't be there. And the thing that I felt the most dread about is the fact that it's very selfish, and this is what kind of hits me to the pit of my stomach. Is after I'm gone, I also can't experience what the future of the world is. I can't observe, I can't see, I can't nothing because I'll be nothing.
So wait,
and I felt
are you the one that smoked a bowl before we started recording?
No, because I just had like a pit of my stomach drop just thinking about this at about 10 o'clock this morning.
That's okay. Those are the thoughts I have at like 1 a.m. before I go to sleep. So
and
that's
it's like,
always good.
It's like I don't want to die. I'm like, I'm not dying right now. I'm not at that point. But I know we've discussed this would have been like 3 years ago or no, it was about a year after I joined the podcast. We discussed our social media legacy and what we'll do, what happens to all these accounts after we die, and we're kind of actually seeing part of it because of the Herman Cain Awards. But
turns out nothing good.
No, nothing good at all. But yeah, I was just thinking about it's not even that I care about my lasting legacy, whether I'm remembered or not. I was just pit of my stomach, like I can't experience after I'm gone.
Yeah,
I feel
like
really
as a sci-fi
bad.
nerd, I feel that. Like for me, it's like I want to see all the awesome technology that's going to exist.
Yeah,
but you know what? You will be able to, TJ. The singularity will happen within our lifetimes.
If it hasn't already.
It is true.
No. Do you watch Kurt's,
that's true.
Kurt's
You're right.
videos, TJ?
TJ, you do know that we're in a simulation right now. So you're playing this simulation right now, and you'll be around after your simulated end ends as other bites in the simulation. So
Of course.
This is how it works. Sorry, go ahead.
And not only have
I
already
need to
done
smoke
this,
another bowl if we're gonna have this type of conversation.
I mean, not only have I already done this, but I've already done every variant of this possible. Because the multiverse is just the multiverse of simulations, not even different true universes per se.
Plus, like, you have a lot of practice at not existing. You did that for like most of the known universe.
That's true.
I know.
I mean, the universe is like what, 13.8 billion years old? You were not around for 13.8 billion years, so you'll be pretty good at not being around for the next 13. And is the universe even going to live another 13 billion years before the heat death?
Who knows?
I don't know.
I don't have enough weed for this.
Time to look up how long the universe will exist.
So
I don't know if I have enough weed for this.
So I started thinking about, animals and shit, and all these other beings that exist and whether or not they're sentient or not. I'm like, as much as I'm me, I'm a different me than I was before. I'm a different me than what I'm going to be, and eventually me won't even be a thing. So why am I fretting about it?
Yeah, and eventually you just get absorbed into a bunch of other things, and then everything's the same thing anyway.
These synapses that are just blasting in my brain, don't really mean anything.
Yeah.
So,
of course, still when I was a kid, I had kind of an opposite anxiety where, like, I grew up Catholic, so I was like, okay, you go to heaven, and then you're there, and then what happens? And I would like just try to imagine the idea of something that never ever ends, and it would give me like panic attacks.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing about this is I was having these thoughts as I was with my family in church today.
Nice.
Because I'm
That's the place for it.
I don't, controversial statement. I don't believe in that, in that kind of afterlife. I don't think it's a thing. I'm
certainly not in the like fantasy novel like story with rules way that we're told. But
no, the afterlife that we get is as you're dying, your brain just juices you with one last serotonin go, and you get this ease of dream as the dream goes away.
There's such a good monologue about that in Midnight Mass, but you'll never watch it because it's too spooky.
I don't like scary movies, so yeah. Crap. But yeah, so I guess it's just be here while I'm here, if I am even a thing.
Like how can you be sure you're not already dead?
I was trying to think about the theories I remember talking about this. I think this was the cosmic inflation bubble theory. I don't know. I think you mentioned, I think Kyrgyzak did a video about this.
The metastability event.
Yeah, basically the fact that because the universe is seen to be infinite and infinitely expanding, that there is issues with that are only, I don't know. I'm not even going to go into this.
Well,
but it's very complicated.
I don't know if it's the same thing you're talking about, but there's this idea that the space appears to be a vacuum, but it could just be a false vacuum on its way to an actual vacuum.
Yes.
And if that is true, then the thing that tips it over the scale will completely unmake existence and also move at the speed of light, so you can't see it coming.
Yeah. So the thing is I think a good example is like when you think about like you have like a big like pod of like like if you're in a bubble bath and there's just a bunch of suds, right? And if you ever like poke a sud bubble or a bunch of bubbles with a thin object, it causes the surface tension of those bubbles all to kind of combine into one big bubble, and those little bubbles just cease to exist. It's kind of like the idea that there could be an event that happens somewhere in our bubble that causes that bubble to collapse, basically, like those bubbles collapse, and we'll never see it coming, and we'll never know. So the universe could end at any moment. And the other theory too with the expanding universe theory is that since the universe is infinite, then there's an infinite number of ways the universe could end, and they could be happening any second. And so they've calculated that it's likely that the universe will only last, or there's a 50% chance the universe will end within the next 4 billion years, which is within the Earth and Sun's lifetime. Like the Earth and Sun will still be around, and the Sun is still going to be burning for, I think, another 7 billion years it's supposed to. So it is a 50% chance likely that the universe will end before the Sun dies.
The other direction is
we're not in a young universe, is the thought. It's not old, but it's certainly older, if you will.
From a universe selfishness perspective, there's also the very slim but possible chance that any particular supernova, any exploding star, that we happen to be at the pole of the one of the poles of the explosion,
correct,
and we could have a planet-wide extinction event from a gamma ray burst. So
exactly,
and again, speed of light. There's nothing we can do to stop it.
The thing is with the supernovas is that when the planets explode with that gamma ray burst, it goes off in two poles basically, and they're happening everywhere.
Yeah.
So one of them could just aim right at us. You never know. But since space is so infinite and large, it would be very unlikely. But then again, if stars are dying and being born every second because the universe is so infinite, it is definitely impossible.
Yeah. The thing also, we're not really that great at tracking planet destroying rocks.
Oh, I thought you were going to say we're not that high, so we can't get any deeper into this. But
oh no,
no.
I'm just saying, like,
what I was gonna.
By the time we can actually see something and predict that it's going to possibly be dangerous, it's too close to do anything.
Yeah,
about it.
exactly. Yeah. Like they didn't find Oumuamua until it was already like close to Earth, basically, and that was the thing that they say could have possibly been an extraterrestrial spaceship. It's definitely probably not, but it was just a very long, flat piece of rock, probably because of its density.
I think you need to get a little higher, watch some Doctor Who, and expand your definition of spaceship.
but anyway, I think the most likely explanation is that it's part of a planet that had exploded or something that was just a big sliver of rock that was flying through, which is insane to think that because of its trajectory, it came from outside of our solar system. So something blew up somewhere and just kind of zipped through, which is kind of crazy to think about.
So I'm going to combine this, and I want to get a little bit down from how heady we are right now.
No, okay. One more.
Okay.
I got one more heady thing too. Can I do one more heady thing?
All right. All right. I'll do mine, and then he can do his. So the one thing that blew my mind is because I don't know what's been my thing, but so I fall asleep by watching stuff on my tablet and just listening to and so my thing lately has actually been listening to Doug DeMuro's car reviews, where he does a 40-minute review of a car, and it's very detailed and it's perfect to fall asleep to because it's just minutia of cup holders and things. So it's really good. But before that, I kind of exhausted everything I could find on YouTube. I was just listening to lectures from astrophysicists and things because I just find them fascinating, listening about black holes and shit. So but I've absorbed in my brain some of this. But the most crazy thing that I think about is the fact that the inflation is happening in our universe. And it's expanding and it's accelerating, which means there will be a time when we're expanding right now. Everything's expanding. Space is expanding. I'm expanding right now because space is expanding.
Well, I am expanding.
But there will be a point at which all of the stars will disappear from the sky because they'll have gotten too far away. That their light can't, because there'll be a point where the expansion of the universe is happening faster than the light can catch up to us. And so it is just blowing my mind that eventually we'll be so far away from anything that there will be no way to get anywhere else because everything is too far away. And that fucking blew my mind. And also it blows my mind that when you think about, okay, the Big Bang happened, where's the center of the universe? Because of everything exploded out of the center point. And the answer is the center of the universe is right here. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Because space was...
it wasn't an explosion.
Everything that exists out was all squished in exactly where you are right now. Because space expanded from everywhere. Because it's crazy to think about, space isn't just it's the concept of distance itself was all down in there. So yeah, so the center is every point of the universe is the center of the universe, which is crazy to think about. Blow your mind. So smoke another bowl and listen to the next thing.
Here's my heady closing thought, and this will either make you less anxious or much more anxious. But when I think about the idea of an afterlife that just isn't, which I see as a possibility, but definitely not definite. I think about when you come home, you work hard, you're exhausted, you pass out, you don't even remember falling asleep, you're so deep asleep you don't even dream, and then you wake up and it's 10 hours have passed in the blink of an eye. Same thing without the opening your eyes part, and that makes me less anxious. Saying it out loud, it does sound terrifying, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that does bother me a little bit about people that are super into I guess, atheism and about that there is no afterlife.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way to know, though.
Yeah.
Like, you can say you definitely think there isn't, but the same reason why you're saying there isn't the pearly gates and the fucking big guy with fucking beard, you could say about you have no proof either. There's literally nothing we could know.
Yeah.
I mean,
about what happened, because like right now when you think about it, we're just a big sack of molecules stuck together by some weird, strong and weak forces and electrons that zip around. What's to say when that all disperses? Where does the consciousness go?
Yeah, we're all just the universe looking at itself.
Is there a consciousness outside of our bodies that we can't access because we're alive and stuck with our current consciousness?
Oh, we're going into theory.
Sorry, I've gone too deep.
I have a video for both of you guys. I'm going to send you after this.
Anyway, that's what I think. That's what allows me to be less anxious. Is that actually the thing that always makes me less anxious when I think about stuff like that is literally every person in the world is going to go through it. So it's anything new.
Yeah.
And there's no way you can know what's going to happen. So there's no reason to even think about it.
And then some people don't have a choice of how quickly they go through it because something armed officers with guns something.
Yeah. Or the like I said, the samurai neighbor theory.
Oh yeah, samurai neighbor theory. Yeah.
Is that your neighbor could just come over and stab you with a sword because they thought you were stealing their energy.
All right. So now that we're done ruining our afterlife, let's go ahead and ruin our life. I found a new subreddit.
All right. I can ruin some relationships later too to tame the rest of
that
this.
sounds great. So I'm gonna let you guys guess what this subreddit is about. I'm just gonna give you the name. I'm going to spell it.
Misogyny. Racism.
No, I'm gonna give you the name.
Oh.
Okay. And you have to figure out what it's about.
Have I gotten it yet?
No, not even close. Okay. So I was just in the comments for something else, and someone linked the subreddit r/pilk, PILK, pilk. What is pilk?
Pig milk.
You are half right.
I was thinking it would be like an initialism, but I can't. There's no F in it, so I don't know what it would be.
Pause. I like to kill. Yeah, but no. Pilk. So milk is half of it.
Pink milk?
Pussy milk.
No.
It's not pig milk?
No. Don't look it up yet.
Protein milk.
No. And
pasteurized milk.
Pea milk?
This will ruin your day. No.
What?
I give up.
All right.
Penis milk.
r/pilk is about the
penis milk is a good one.
Disgusting concoction, though people on this subreddit supposedly love it, of milk and Pepsi.
Oh, I've heard of pilk.
And one of the first articles I happened to just glance before I'm like, nope, done for the day, is I love chocolate pilk. And I'm like,
I don't like regular Pepsi.
I like Pepsi. I'm weird.
So I will say this, and then I'm reading what pilk is, and I understand where they come from.
75 readers, so this is not a big subreddit.
No, but I've heard of this. Pepsi milk is a thing, but when you think about it,
it's like a root beer float.
What's a root beer float?
Yeah. I mean, there's a
bit
bit of vanilla in there,
float?
though. Yeah.
What'd you say?
There's a bit of vanilla in that, though, when you go that direction.
That's true. But if you had a vanilla Pepsi and made a float.
Yeah.
So
if
actually,
somebody
when you think
offered
about it,
one to me, I'd try it. I won't seek it out.
It's not as crazy as I thought it was. And they're saying you definitely want to use whole milk.
Does the milk not curdle or anything?
I mean, it doesn't curdle when you make... I think it's because...
I guess it's... Well, when
I think
you
the
do like
ratio
beer
is
floats
important.
and Irish car bombs, which is probably not okay to say anymore, that you have to drink it faster, the dairy will curdle, but that might have more to do with like the alcohol content.
I mean, my perspective, at least for the longest time, is you don't mix carbonated and non-carbonated. I've since gotten past that, for a lot of things, but this is just, it just feels wrong to me. That being said, I probably should, for the next podcast, get a 20 ounce Pepsi.
All right, boys, let's do it. Next podcast,
it's the Pilk Challenge.
I'm gonna have the Pilk Challenge. TJ, you don't have to do it if you don't want to, Matt. But I definitely am gonna get a 20 ounce of Pepsi, and I'm gonna have milk from my fridge. I'll probably do 2% because I don't have any whole milk. Maybe I'll buy a small jug of whole milk. But the recipe I saw said half a cup of milk, ice, and then top the rest of the cup with Pepsi.
So I must confess, I have been putting on airs a little bit with this. I have been known to drink those Coca-Cola coffee lattes in a can where it's Coke
that's kind of like
mixed
that
with coffee and then some like sugar and stuff. And there seems to be some dairy. So I think,
or like not milk, but like milk.
I think I'm gonna
substance.
do a chocolate milk Coke. That's what I'm gonna do.
Oh, you still don't like Pepsi? Okay.
Oh, that sounds pretty good though.
Well, because I want to see like, so I'm thinking like a soda float. If you replace the ice cream with milk, it's a lot less sweet. But Pepsi is usually sweeter than like other colas anyway. So maybe that balances.
I'm wondering
if
this would be better with RC though. Now that I'm going through this. Yeah.
Because when you think so the way that I make root beer floats is I do very much. I have my methods, and that is you get the ice cream, you get the root beer in there, and then I like to just blend the ice cream down into. So I'm like basically drinking like a root beer shake. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like, and then I have my method too is that I don't drink it. I eat it with a spoon. Like I scoop it like a soup.
Not
out of a bowl, but out
not
of a cup.
before you take the soda ice cream blend and stick it in your soda stream to ultra carbonate it.
Hell yeah, carbonate that shit.
Eating out of a cup. Go ahead first. I was just starting thinking of like.
So they make soda stream like hacked things that you can get that allow you to carbonate non-water. Basically, you can carbonate other liquids. My brother was talking about this. I think he was looking into it. It's like a two-way valve or something you can have installed that allows it to properly depressurize without shooting out the top, I guess. And it's a way you can make sparkling wine.
I would guess there's probably like a safety valve that maybe doesn't function if the liquid is thicker than water.
Something like that. I just know that it supposedly definitely works to make carbonate anything. So I don't know if you'd want to try something like, let's see if I can carbonate milk.
Well, that all depends on whether I find a cheap soda stream on Craigslist or at the thrift store. If I get one of those, I'll have all kinds of projects.
I just Googled soda stream carbonated, and carbonated milk is the first thing that came up.
I've always wondered what Yoo-hoo would be like carbonated. It's not technically milk, but it's close.
There's apparently a lot of people with carbonated milk. I guess PewDiePie did it as well, so it's dead.
Oh yeah, we can't do it.
Wait, in 2019, Coca-Cola released a short-lived beverage called VO, which is apparently milk-flavored soda. So they already...
That sounds like not in America.
So there's already basically... Like,
it sounds Japan to me.
I was thinking European. You know, those Italians.
Anyway, there's ways to carbonate things, I guess, with the soda stream that shouldn't normally be able to be carbonated, which sounds kind of fun. But I haven't done that, and I also am worried it will make a mess, so I'm not gonna fuck with it.
Hey Siri, set a reminder on Friday at 8 a.m. to buy Pepsi.
Can you have that reminder also text me?
Tell your reminder to message the Discord for all of us to get Pilk ingredients.
Got it.
I'll make Lauren try the Pilk too.
Oh my god, it's gonna be so gross.
It's gonna actually be surprisingly not bad.
Okay, what about this? What about this?
I'll fill my daughter's
cherry Pepsi with strawberry milk.
See, now you're already making things good. So We need to start with the classic first.
You're mixing too many flavors at this point. I think you're gonna end up with something beautiful. We need to start with the classic first. What was I gonna? Oh, I was gonna talk about another weird. Oh, yeah, another weird hack that I've done that shouldn't be good is dipping Oreos in nacho cheese. It's good.
I simultaneously had two very different reactions to that.
So you think it's gonna be bad, right? I think the worst thing I can say,
but also
about
chocolate and cheese works.
Is that it just tastes like Oreos and nacho cheese they're both good. They don't really mix, but having them both together still tastes good.
What if you did like nacho flavored filling? Where
Matt, how does chocolate and cheese work?
Like a sharp cheddar and a dark chocolate. They can be a really good combination.
Sounds really good.
Okay. I can see that now.
Like it's.
I mean, I've done chocolate covered bacon before.
Where like sharp cheeses feel like they're sucking the moisture right out of your cheeks. That mixed with the bitterness is a fun combo sometimes.
Taste combos.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting into some ratatouille bullshit here.
In the cheese market in Milwaukee, which I haven't been doing in such a long time, but they have cheese with fudge in it.
Yes, that reminds me, the fudge cheese. I've had that as well. I got a big hunk of it in like a gift box once, and it was really good. Yeah. It just because when you think about it, what's fudge? Fudge is chocolate and butter.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, Lauren is saying fudge cheese is awesome.
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, it's just like rather than butter, you're using cultured milk, which is cheese, and it's great.
Yeah. Also, like cheesecake. Cheese goes with the.
Yeah.
It's
exactly
like cheesecake cheese is not actually that far away from some of the.
Yeah.
Like sandwich cheeses. I'm fully coming around to this idea. I'm a Pilk.
Right.
Just call me Carl Pilkington.
Now, I know I posted on Twitter and posted some other stuff. Have I posted the picture in our Discord of the block of cream cheese I took a bite out of?
I think I have seen this. It's somewhere in my memory.
Okay. I mean, I did it with regular block of cheese, but I did it with cream cheese, and I went ahead and had about 2/3 of a block of just eating the cream cheese by itself, right off the block. I wanted to get through the whole block, but it was just too rich.
It's very rich, yes.
It's good, though.
Look, I really glob that shit on my bagels, and usually after I'm done with the bagel, I do an extra scoop that just goes straight into my mouth. But what you've done is a sin.
That's too. You're like Icarus. You've flown too close to the sun. Well, it's okay to have one spoonful. But
I stopped before it became a problem.
Do you know what I've discovered is the incredible wonder ingredient? Biscoff cookie butter.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's basically, if you've ever had Biscoff cookies, which I've experienced because I believe Delta Airlines always gives you Biscoff cookies whenever you fly, and I had them and I was like, these cookies are amazing because it's basically just like a shortbread, gingery, kind of graham crackery cookie, basically that type of flavor, that gingery, just delicious, Grammy. Yeah. I don't even know how to describe it. Just that type of flavor. But they make a cookie butter that's spreadable like peanut butter. Now, and it's fucking amazing. And I make toast with cookie butter, and it's like the best dessert.
Is it anywhere close to those almond windmill cookies?
Yeah. Well, yeah, like a cinnamon sugar kind of.
Okay.
Like you're right. Actually, the best way to describe it is if you have like a cookie butter toast, the Biscoff cookie butter toast, it basically is like I don't know if you ever made this as a kid, but like the cinnamon sugar toast with butter.
Oh yeah.
It's a similar taste. And also, when you were a kid, did you ever make cinnamon toast by just putting cinnamon and butter on toast and not realizing that you also need to have sugar?
Almost
I've done
certainly.
It once. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're like, cinnamon toast? That sounds good.
Yeah.
I've had the cereal, and then you're like, this is awful.
We here at the Born in the 80s podcast are not going to reference the cinnamon challenge and do not encourage you to do this. Please do not do the cinnamon challenge. You will get lung problems or die.
Instead, just do the nutmeg challenge. It'll fuck you up.
Don't do the nutmeg challenge. Literally poisoning yourself. For the fucking. Isn't it funny though when you talk about like how TikTok has all these crazy terms and services that I'm assuming you know because of Mercury?
Yeah.
Yet like most TikToks I've seen are people just doing hashtag challenges that are very dangerous.
Yeah.
It's like we got all these terms, but we can't help our algorithm.
Weirdly, it's like prudish rules, like cursing and stuff that like. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels very.
What would happen if I did a TikTok where I compared the Chinese president to Winnie the Pooh?
If you did that
would fly?
Probably nothing. If somebody did it and it got 100,000 views, yeah.
Can we get Mercury to try it?
I don't think we could do that. And you know what? That would actually jeopardize my future. So I don't want to do that.
What? Oh, so you're going to kowtow to the communists? Is that what you're telling me?
Look,
Ted Cruz will be on your ass about how you're supporting China.
So we're talking about cinnamon and we're talking about nutmeg. Mm-hmm. I'm on week 3 of making shit from real pumpkin.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so week 1 was...
Did you just buy an assload of pumpkins?
No, they in-laws grew a bunch of pumpkins and we're going
so
through
you just
them.
have pumpkins from the yard that you need to use.
Yes, so
and by need to use, you just don't want to waste because pumpkin stuff tastes good.
John means fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, you got one pumpkin for that.
Hold up, I saw the video.
Wait, what?
What are you talking about?
Of how to prep your pumpkin to fuck.
Oh well, yeah, you got to microwave it and. You can't microwave a pumpkin; it'll explode. What you have to do is put it in warm water.
I microwave pumpkins to do this pumpkin. To actually,
you can.
You cut it. You cut.
Oh, you get the hole first.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Got it.
But yeah, you cut the shit in half, scrape out the innards. Although if you want texture, you leave them in.
Yeah,
you gotta have.
And you know, every pumpkin's different. Some have a lot of dangly bits. Don't be self-conscious.
True. But actually, for cooking this pumpkin, no, we do take out the the stringy bits and the seeds. We cook the seeds separately. We've been seasoning those, which are great. But I did 6 pumpkin rolls the first week.
What's a pumpkin roll?
Pumpkin roll is a very thin pumpkin cake with a layer of cream cheese frosting rolled up. Yeah.
So it's like a Swiss cake roll, but with pumpkin.
Oh yeah.
Big Swiss cake roll.
It sounds
6
delicious.
of those. 5 hours in the kitchen making those fuckers. And then last week was I did 2 pumpkin pies. Which I still had some pumpkin pie batter left over, so I just put that in an oven safe thing and just made a crustless pumpkin pie.
Nice.
A pumpkin custard, I guess.
Yeah.
And then this week was my first, I would call it a failure, but it still tastes fine. I did a pumpkin cheesecake. The failure part was all of the powdered sugar didn't dissolve properly, so you got all of those little like dots and bits in there. So it's chewy,
but it's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's like when you do baking stuff like that, and it's just like, this is one that we keep at home to eat. Yeah. It's good, but it's not like good enough to present as like a thing. It's like, I gotta refine this process before we can present it.
That recipe had the recipe to make the crust, and I got lazy and I just bought pre-made graham cracker crusts for them.
Fuck yeah, buy pre-made crust. Are you kidding me? I never make crusts.
But for this one,
it's annoying.
It's, it said it would make 1. So I bought 2 graham cracker crusts and doubled it. I have a feeling the graham cracker crust you're supposed to make was for a bigger cheesecake.
Yeah, no, because I didn't realize this. There's different pie sizes. I thought pie size was standardized, but there's like 9-inch and there's 10-inch pie and there's like 11-inch pie tins.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that like a lot of recipes think you're using a certain type of pie size.
But yeah,
usually it's not a problem. You can just make a little thicker pie.
the default purchasable graham cracker crust. After I put the cheesecake in both the two, thinking I'd have enough batter for two, I still had half the batter left. Yeah. So I just have some, pumpkin cheese pudding.
I was about to say, you could probably, what you could do is get graham crackers or like Nilla wafers and just, that's a
or
dip.
put in some Pepsi.
Yeah. That actually does not sound bad.
It does sound bad.
And
please.
No, because it's not truly pumpkin spice. Because the pumpkin cheesecake does not use a lot of pumpkin spice.
So what you're telling me is that you need a pumpkin spice Pepsi is the next thing.
I don't know if I want
They do
that.
it. They did the holiday spice Pepsi.
Already.
They did a holiday
like
spice
the cinnamon Pepsi. That's halfway.
I don't like the cinnamon. I didn't like the chili cherry Diet Coke or whatever that was.
Was like chili cherry or something?
No, it was cherry
Pepsi holiday spice.
And then had like almost like a jalapeno heat when you were done with it.
Oh.
I wasn't a big fan of that, the after heat.
Yeah. Cherry's not really like flavor I want spice with.
Next week I have a recipe for some sort of pumpkin cookies. Yeah, pumpkin rocks with cream cheese frosting. So
have you thought about making a savory pumpkin dish?
That's going to happen if we get to that point. But we also have a lot of zucchini and squash, so we don't really need that.
You can make some pumpkin ravioli. Make the ravioli.
Yeah, that's literally the only thing I can think of is pumpkin ravioli.
Typically, our savory is just we'll make it as like a side dish, the same way that you would do like sweet potatoes,
like squash.
Yeah. And then my wife will.
Do you do the whole like
just throw a little bit of brown sugar on it?
Do you do the marshmallows on top? I can never stand.
I don't. I can't. This is too much. Too much. It's like that lady who. What was the horrible mac and cheese sin that happened?
Oh yeah, I saw that video. Raisins. Everything is freaking raisins.
It wasn't raisins.
I saw a video where everything looked great for the mac and cheese.
I'm looking at Mashable
until they added raisins.
Okay, here we go. Bad mac and cheese ridiculed by all of Twitter. This was in 2017. Apparently.
Oh no, there was one. It was a TikTok that was shared. I think I saw. See if I can fucking find it. But
this is why every fucking. Oh, I really hate this Eater article. Bad mac and cheese ridiculed by all of Twitter, and it's just a link to the tweet that the person's deleted.
Yeah.
So you can't even see a picture of it. And so there's all these articles are like, wow, this is truly wow. They're describing it, but there's no actual
clicks. They don't need your
I just think it's funny when that happens. Oh God. Okay, so I'm on 10 worst crimes against mac and cheese on Mashable. And the first one I'm looking at is a bunch of penne pasta with American cheese slices on top of it. It looks like the worst thing I've ever seen.
That sounds like a Northwest Wisconsin thing.
Yeah.
Avocado mac and cheese. What was the one that everyone was talking about last year though? Like somebody made this disgusting mac and cheese for like Thanksgiving. God damn it. God damn it.
I need to find this one. Come on.
The other day, we tried to order fancy mac and cheese from a place called like Joe's Loaded Mac and Cheese or whatever on Eat Street, and it showed up. First of all, we didn't get the mac and cheese because they were out, so that whole thing got refunded. But if had our mac and cheese arrived, it would have been from Perkins. Perkins was the stealth on Eat Street as a fake restaurant.
Oh yeah, definitely. When we went to Perkins, when TJ came up and we went to Perkins and Matt got food poisoning.
Yeah.
Probably not from the Perkins, but
no, almost certainly not.
But anyway, I saw them boxing out a Mr. Beast burger, not related to the Mr. Beast YouTuber, but it's like a Phantom Kitchen for that online restaurant.
Yeah.
It's also, so it seems like Perkins does a lot of Phantom Kitchen stuff.
Yeah, I'm running into that like more and more, and I hate it.
So this is just talking about like bad mac and cheeses that you can buy at like restaurants. That's not what I want. What is the ultimate Thanksgiving mac and cheese on the Food Network? Roux adds milk, Dijon mustard, yep, all classic. Roasted sprouts and winter squash.
Oh. No.
You don't. You have them separate. Why do you have to mix everything into mac and cheese? That's not the one I'm thinking of, though. God. It was on Twitter. God, it was somebody.
It wasn't on here. Maybe this was on Twitter as well.
I do see
Fuck.
Mac and cheese with green beans in it.
I mean, that's reasonable. I just don't like green beans.
Anyway, and then one of these just has like anyway, mac and cheese is one of those things that's like you would think would be impossible to fuck up, and it's super easy to make homemade mac and cheese. You know, that's not just the box craft dinner, but like people want to like zhuzh it up. Lauren will never forgive her aunt for bringing mac and cheese that she made that had cauliflower chopped up in it in there with the noodles.
I mean, that sounds fun.
I love
that.
Cheese.
You can do that right, but
and it was done
right.
But okay. Lauren hates cauliflower and any of that vegetable, like cabbage and sprouts and any of that, with a passion. So it was like hiding in a villain. Yeah. I love it. I could eat sprouts every day. I could eat cabbage every day. Yeah. I love cabbage and sprouts.
I literally just plain raw cauliflower.
Yeah, cauliflower is awesome. One of my favorite dishes, actually, and by dishes I mean just snack thing, is just to roast cauliflower with like curry spices, and just make like curried cauliflower, and then get it in the oven roast so it's nice and like crispy and browned and a little burnt. Oh, that's good shit. Cauliflower's good, man. Cauliflower tacos. Cauliflower's a good, like, meaty type of. It's good. Cauliflower's great. Anyway, let's move on. Let's ruin some relationships, boys.
Oh,
ding
definitely.
ding,
ding ding. All right, so I got two of these really bad. I do like a lot of the Twitter reactions to this are really bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can see this. Want to break up with my girlfriend because my girlfriend compliments me with poetry and it makes me uncomfortable. Okay. Sounds really, this guy's a real piece of shit, right? His girlfriend has only done the crime of writing poetry for him. My 25M girlfriend 20F, okay, way too young, but I mean the age gap isn't that bad. I'm just saying you're dating a 20-year-old.
Way too young.
Of 2 years. That's okay. This is like literally the age gap my wife and I have. But has recently had some kind of spiritual enlightenment phase and has begun complimenting me every day with poetry, writing down verses of poetry in my work bag. And it makes me uncomfortable. She makes me feel like I'm her son because of how extra she's begun complimenting me. She sends me long poetic texts during her lunch break, and the most recent one was... Are you ready for some poetry?
Okay, but before we do that, it's kind of weird that this dude thinks like, oh, I'm being complimented. That's like a motherly thing. People can just be nice to you. It's fine.
Yeah, but there's like a level where you can be too nice to someone. Anyway,
I guess my mom never wrote me poetry, is all I'm saying.
Well, my mom never wrote me poetry either. It would just be like a don't get in trouble today note in my lunchbox. How can you be so perfect? You must be a figment of radiance, enveloped in the beauty of flesh, where flesh has imperfections, yet you have none. Such an oxymoron would not exist, yet here you stand, dazzled in the wondrous beauty I thought was unimaginable. You must have been born with the blessings of the stars and the benevolent grace of God. She's going to fucking murder him. This is not the like people, you read this face value, like, this poetry, A, is awful.
I'm worried the poems might be too subtle.
And bin A, insane. Like,
I mean, at the very least, it seems like an unhealthy, like, codependence kind of thing happening.
Boys, I think we have found the Zodiac Killer.
I do like some of the comments here that are amazing. I literally teared up at the thought of my significant other writing me those words of affirmation and praise, and he wants to break up. Women are wasted on men. I hope he breaks up with her so she can be with somebody who deserves and appreciates her love. I love the next one. I mean, 2 years and no I love yous is already a red flag. Oh, we haven't read the rest of it, but sorry.
Oh.
This is a troll, my dude. Also, a 23-year-old dating an 18-year-old sounds like grooming to me. Like,
wait,
what?
I thought you said 25 and 20.
No, but they said 2 years. They met 2 years earlier.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
but a 23-year-old. Wait, a 23-year-old dating an 18-year-old? How is that grooming?
Hang on, let me do the math.
It's a 5-year age gap.
No, yeah.
They could have both been in college together.
Let me give him the benefit of the doubt and go 22, so it's even. Half of 22 is
11.
Is 11 plus 7 is 18. He's a little bit older. Close enough. It's fine.
I don't understand an age that is not a problematic age gap. If you're 18, you can date anyone up to like a 25-year-old.
I think anyone under 25 shouldn't be allowed to do anything.
That's also true. That's another thing. This lady's 20 years old. This poetry, this is honestly the worst poetry I've ever read. Up there. Anyway, let's continue. She's not even religious, and I'm not either, and I don't even know why she writes so extravagantly, because she never had an interest of reading or writing poetry before. I don't even know where she began to feel so intimate when we haven't really even said I love you, which is 2 years is kind of insane.
Yeah, that's
I want to break
weird.
I want to break up with her, but I don't know how without hurting her feelings, because I don't really have any excuse other than you make me uncomfortable. Why don't you tell her that you make me uncomfortable with this poetry? I understand you're trying to do a nice thing, but it's making me uncomfortable, because it would be like, I don't know, like, could you imagine if you had a friend that's just constantly talking about how amazing you are? It's like, kind of like, is this
John,
real?
you're the best. You're so great. You're like the stars and moon
I know
combined.
I'm not.
You're so amazing.
I just love.
I love you, John.
This poetry is like literally the worst thing.
No,
I've
too
ever
much.
read,
Matt, brevity. Hey, Matt. Nice cock.
Thanks. What, did you see my hands?
John, you too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we have a whole separate. We each have a second webcam. It's a private channel. Never mind.
It's just underneath the table. We all just have them hanging out all the time. You know, we gotta keep it real.
Yeah, we simulcast on.
You dislike Joe Rogan because he's queer coded, can suck his own dick, POC Italian. My question is, with Joe Rogan saying that he can suck his own dick, is who asked that question? Why are you? Why did that come up? Yeah. Why did that come up?
I have no clue.
I mean, it seems unlikely because he's not like his body type doesn't seem that flexible.
Well, he's like 4 feet tall, so it's not like he has that far to go.
Yeah, but that's harder though. It's easier to bend something that's like a long piece of metal, you know?
Okay, he's 5'8". Sorry.
He is not 5'8". Look up comparisons of him standing next to fighters with known heights.
Oh wait, everyone is questioning Joe Rogan's height now. I'm reading articles.
It's not a hard thing to disprove.
5'7.5", which is not correct either. Then, because you throw that half and you're lying. So he's probably like 5'6", I would say. Right? 5'5".
Yeah, I mean, people have done the math with like fighters who have to have an accurate height. So Here
we go. This lady said that she saw him in real life and she's 5'5", and there's no way he's very much taller than her, if not any at all.
Mm-hmm.
So he's probably close to 5'5", 5'6". Which, how tall is Ben Shapiro? Why is it it's almost interesting, like all of these like guys are like short.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not to make fun of short people,
Neapolitan complex.
Ben Shapiro height. We don't got a height.
Neapolitan complex.
5'6".
Doesn't it sound delicious?
They're sad because they don't have any strawberries.
No, they're sad because strawberry is all that's left, and it's the grossest one.
I mean, there's that photo of him next to Jordan Peterson that people have taken, where they know he's 6'2", and so Gentry is probably like 5'3".
No, if it is Neapolitan complex, they're sad because the
dude, Ted Cruz is 5'8".
Chocolate doesn't.
What is going on here? I've uncovered something.
Yeah.
How tall is Madison Cawthorn? Like 4'10"?
John, you could pants
in that
like
wheelchair.
most of Congress. They're all fragile and tiny.
I think Crowder's tall though. Stephen Crowder.
Well, fucking Trump is 6'3" or whatever. So.
Yeah, but all of that's his freaking oddly shaped knees.
Like it's just funny because like all these people like only care about. You know what I love is I searched Crowder height and the first thing that came up is the basketball player Jay Crowder, and that makes me feel very good about myself that is not that Steven Crowder is not the person that comes up when you search that.
Good.
Sorry, I have a better relationship thing. So yeah, okay. People are like, this guy's awful because he doesn't like this poetry.
How you do this? There once was a man from Nantucket. I'm breaking up with you. Goodbye.
Yeah. Roses are red, violets are blue. Your poetry is crap. I'm breaking up with you. Like, it's just it. Like, done. All right. Anyway, let's do it. All right. My 31M fiance girlfriend 28F.
Okay.
Is upset that I proposed with an NFT
said fiance girlfriend
instead of a ring. Well, I don't know if it is a fiance based on the proposal.
Oh,
that's what they're trying to get across.
I see. Yeah.
So my 31M fiance girlfriend 28F is upset that I proposed with an NFT instead of a ring. What can I do about this?
This
Go
has to
die
be fake,
in hell.
right? Like, there's no way anyone is this actual person.
For this post, my fiance will be Jenna, fake name. I'm 31 and Jenna is 28. Jenna and I have been together for 4 years. We've discussed marriage and agreed that both would be interested in the right situation financially. Jenna has recently been mad at me as I lost a significant portion of half of our savings in Dogecoin. I did make half of it back when the stock market options, but then lost some more and she wanted me to quit, so I did. Jenna does not have an investing mind. Is more interested in saving our money in a checking account and then buying a house or something. But I want to show her how we can multiply our money with investing. Well, things were going okay, and then I found something that made my jaw drop. It was an NFT with significance to our life that she would love. I rushed to buy it with almost my entire life savings. Because I know this is a good one, and it would be worth $1 million when we're older. I got down on one knee and presented her to the NFT, and she started crying. She said I was the asshole and how could I do this? I explained to her that in 10 years we could buy a mansion with this, and it's a symbol of my love and devotion. But she sees it as selfish and foolish. I don't want to sell this NFT because it's once in a lifetime, and I don't want to leave her. What can I do? TLDR, my girlfriend doesn't like investing. Crypto is not investing. And I was mad I lost a significant amount of money in crypto. I bought her an NFT for our engagement instead of a ring, and she's not saying yes and is mad. What do I do?
Also, overextending yourself to the point where it's possible to lose half of your savings on any kind of investment is not investing. That's just feeding the beast.
NFTs. God. Disney's doing NFTs now.
Well,
like everyone's doing NFTs. I want to give the full explanation that I read on.
Stuff burns hot and bright, but shortly now. So everybody's jumping on this right now.
So
I don't think it's gonna.
I saw this explanation of NFTs, which is great. That is 100% like the best explanation. So this was on Tumblr. And a user said, I don't know what an NFT is, and at this point I'm too afraid to ask. And this response is from Queer Samus, and it's the greatest. Imagine if you went up to the Mona Lisa and were like, I'd like to own this. And somebody nearby went, give me $65 million, and I'll burn down an unspecified amount of the Amazon rainforest in order to give you a receipt of purchase. So you pay them, and they went, Here's your receipt. Thank you for your purchase. And went to an unmarked supply closet in the back of the museum and posted a handmade label inside it behind the brooms that said, Mona Lisa is currently owned by Jacob Galapagos, which was the username of the person who posted. So if anyone wants to know who owns it, they had to find that specific closet in the specific hallway, look behind the correct brooms, and they can find out who owns the Mona Lisa. And you went, well, can I take the Mona Lisa home now? And then, oh, no. Are you stupid? You only bought the receipt that says you own it. You didn't actually buy the Mona Lisa itself. You can't take the real Mona Lisa, you idiot. You can take this, though. Here's a replica print in a cardboard tube that's sold in the gift shop. Also, the person who's selling you the receipt of purchase has no point in any time ever owned the Mona Lisa. That's just how NFTs are literally a receipt that show that you paid money for an image.
Yeah.
You don't own rights unless you purchase the rights as well, which is possible to do, but not in every NFT is that.
And the funny part is, you own it at a particular link on a particular wherever.
Yes.
If whoever's hosting that decides not to host it anymore,
correct.
You still own the receipt, but it's a receipt of nothing.
Yeah, you own the receipt to the 404 page.
Yeah. It's great. It's great that
insane.
It's great that I literally can't tell the difference between that and how the stock market works.
You know what's great is that it is like this insanity is like making significant impacts to our current thing, like our current financial situation. It's so bad.
I mean,
it's so bad.
I can tell you how the stock market was intended to work and then how it supposedly works now, but it doesn't mean it means anything anymore.
Well, it works.
Yeah, but I mean, when it comes to trading debts and you get these derivatives of derivatives of derivatives to where it's I don't even know what you're trading anymore.
Yeah.
Banking is a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
And no one can prove me wrong. Especially not TJ, who does math with money for a living.
Oh, I still think it's stupid. I get it. But
what you reading, John?
Did you see? I'm sorry. Did you see the battle that the Call of Duty Vanguard came out?
Yeah, no. I'm not getting it. I only just bought Modern Warfare.
I mean, all I know about Call of Duty Vanguard is that it's another World War II Call of Duty. And I've seen loads of commercials of just fucking butt rock and some World War II guys shooting people in airplanes and things. And it's like, what the fuck is this nonsense?
I only just bought Modern Warfare because I saw that old buddies of ours are playing it. Or specifically, old buddies of mine are playing it. Our former roommate, when we were in Siena.
Are you talking about Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the one that came out 2 years ago?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the good one. They haven't made a good one since then. People are still playing that version.
Yes, I only just bought it because I saw that they're still playing that. So.
But Call of Duty Vanguard is not good, from what I've heard.
Oh, you know what isn't good? That just came out. Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy Definitive Edition.
Oh yeah.
So Call of Duty Vanguard's campaign.
A bit of a controversy there.
I heard the Call of Duty Vanguard campaign is just really bad. It is just complete insane tokenization, because it's okay, what if World War II, but a group of the BK Kids Club diversity group was gonna take down Hitler? It's apparently, but it's
you're saying it's ham-fistedly.
Yes, that's the problem. It's you could have a really interesting story with a black British paratrooper telling his story, but it's a black British paratrooper, a Russian female sniper, an Australian demolitions pilot, and it's a bunch of misfits that are all quipping one-liners, and it's an action movie, and they're all super man, the Nazis are racist, and the Nazis are cackling while they like do like racist shit. It's like, this is so unbelievably bad, and the way that it like completely misses the point of everything and tokenizes things is like, you could have done. And what's interesting is that was it Battlefield, the World War II Battlefield, was it just called Battlefield 2? Battlefield 5.
Yeah.
Had a bunch of like interesting stories with where you had a female protagonist who was a part of the, like, I think it was Swedish or Finnish resistance. Where you can tell interesting stories with the diversity in World War II.
Yeah.
But you don't need to like make
the
this
Russians
weird
had the night witches and shit. Yeah.
You just don't need to have this weird like shoehorned in like Michael Bay action story with like everything. And the narrative is interesting because when you think about it, it's like, also, okay, yeah, you can do the Nazis like racist, but like, what do you do with the Japanese?
Yeah.
That's completely different. They weren't, they were probably racist because literally everyone was racist in the 40s.
Yeah.
But like, their story isn't the same as, they were much more imperialist and way, wrapped up in a way of nationalism and propaganda. It's very different. And it's really stupid. Like it's a really stupid thing to like say, oh, the Nazis were bad because they were racist. And it's like, no, the Nazis were bad because what was bad was the nationalism and the ability of people to say they were just following orders while they were doing awful things. Like, it's so far beyond just, oh, they're obviously the bad guys. Like, games like Wolfenstein, like the New Order and the Old Blood and stuff, can do this because they're doing it in such a
over the top way,
over the top, like crazy, like future, like it fictionalizes itself a little bit, whereas this I think doesn't.
It's like a Grindhouse movie versus something that's trying to be an actual.
Somebody literally said it felt like
period piece.
These characters time traveled from 2021 back into like the time to like fight the Nazis, and it's like, that's bad. Like and that's the thing that bothered me with watching those like videos of like the gameplay while like fucking Butt Rock is playing. And it's like, this is not the World War II game I would be interested in.
That to me,
like, if you're going to make a World War II game, make it more World War II-y.
Yeah. Well, that
if you
sounds
don't want
like
to make
a lot of creative decisions that were decided by market research and what was going to be profitable, probably.
I've heard mixed reviews. Right now the Metacritic is 75, which isn't great. I'm sure there's a lot of negative user reviews because of and I think it's funny and it's really sad that it's like campaign is like bad and like that, and I think people will also complain the campaign is bad because it has a black person in its World War II. And it's like, no, that's not like the reason why it's bad. The reason why it's bad is that it's like completely told in a very like tokenizing way and not actually telling the interesting story of the actual African American troops that fought in World War II that you could tell.
Like they kind of did with Battlefield 1.
Battlefield 1 actually had the African American World War I crew that existed.
But they didn't give a full chapter to that. It was just the prologue as they all fucking died.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting to see
Hellfighters,
that representation, the Harlem Hellfighters, but it's just like, I mean, it's tough. It's tough to like, that's like the game that you have to play with like history, is that like history was racist, although critical race theory, doesn't exist. So actually history wasn't racist is what we need to teach our children.
Well, it's weird because like history was racist, but at the same time history was more diverse than we think it was because a lot of that shit got like left out of the records.
Exactly, because the diverse viewpoints were not kept. Unfortunately.
So there is like, if you put in the work and do enough research, you can find like grounding in reality and do interesting stories, but I don't think it sounds like they did that.
Yeah, there's just a really good Kotaku article about this that I read that is just like, it just is so, it's like turning World War II into a weird action movie. Because like some of my favorite games are the original like Call of Duty games, Call of Duty 1, 2, and 3, you know, the ones that took place in World War II, and they were just like, just good. Like, it just, the level of the grittiness and the deadliness of the war, I don't know, it just, you don't need to push diversity in this way, maybe. Or if you're going to do it, you have to do it in a the correct way.
Yeah,
just throw a bunch of people together and be like, hey, here's diversity, we got a black guy. It's like, no. You could tell the story of the Tuskegee Airmen if you wanted to have a cool chapter on that. That would be great.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you could tell the stories of how didn't they give a bunch of black servicemen syphilis?
I don't think that was
What was
related.
that?
That was the Tuskegee experiments, but I think it was not related
You're
to
right.
the airmen.
It was not related. You're right. Okay, I'm conflating the two. I'm conflating all of the horrible things we've done in the past.
If you want a fictional story that's inspired by that stuff but done really well, Truth, Red, White, and Blue is like an alternate Captain America where he was a black soldier that got experimented on before it was safe enough to use on Steve Rogers. That's a really good. It's only like 7 issues long.
That's a really cool idea, though. Anyway, TJ, what was the other game that you said was bad? Sorry, I cut you off. I wasn't talking about Call of Duty.
Oh, Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy Definitive Edition.
I've heard mixed reports on it. I've heard that there's some awesome stuff that it does, like the textures and everything just look so much better. And have they preserved a lot of the music as well?
No.
Huh?
They couldn't get a lot of it back. But a lot of the textures, the consensus is that the textures were actually upscaled via AI. So like a lot of the text on the buildings and stuff were actually put in wrong. I'd have to dig through r/gaming to find some of those.
Yeah, but
like
that does make sense that like that's way cheaper in terms of person hours than like redoing it.
There's a store that had a little sign that mentioned they had air guitars, but that got as it got retextured, it became AR guitars. Which, depending on which direction you go, that could be augmented reality. But more likely, if you want to think about this is Grand Theft Auto. I was just saying assault rifle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the AR and AR-15s.
Oh,
it doesn't stand for assault rifle.
Oh, it does though, and you need to say that because they definitely won't get triggered over that. You know what's even funnier? I'm looking at this music that's missing apparently. TJ?
Yep.
Is that Vice City is a very interesting choice. The stations all have been split up at key points to allow tracks to be dropped in or out. So it sounds like that they're there still. The San Andreas actually has all the music in it, the files, but it's just disabled to not be played via script.
Oh, gotcha.
Which is just insane.
And apparently hot coffee is still in GTA San Andreas.
They did that on purpose. They left it in. It does sound like I guess you can't buy it on the PC now. It got pulled from stores. Jesus Christ. It really released this in an unfinished. I mean, it sounds like it was literally a cash grab. They're like, we don't got anything to put out this year. We need to make some money. People will buy the old Grand Theft Auto games. Do you want to play them? Like, they were very difficult, I remember. And
wasn't the first one like a top-down thing?
Well, yeah, but that GTA 3 was the first of the 3D Grand Theft Autos.
Oh, so this is just like the 3D ones.
Like, because, like, for me, one of the things that is great about, the GTA, like, Vice City specifically, is the music. Like, it just has such great, like, 80s music. Does this list say what's missing? The Michael Jackson songs from Vice City are gone. And San Andreas is missing a Rage Against the Machine. But of course, these have been on all of the previous re-releases. Have not had these either because they just never Never had that, which is just so crazy to think about it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it sounds like for the most part, most of the music is here. It seems like. So, I mean, whatever. It's such a weird thing, but it also is kind of like you really couldn't shell out to get the rights for these.
Yeah.
Like really?
Like
how much did you try?
From what you're saying with the other shortcuts and stuff, it sounds like it's definitely a case of not like the artist suddenly wanted way more. Like they probably just cut all the expensive artists from the get-go and we're like, let's keep the cost low.
Yeah, like for instance, looking at this, like Vice City is missing Ozzy Osbourne's Bark at the Moon. Like I'm pretty sure you probably could have gotten that if you would have paid some money. Mm-hmm. Michael Jackson stuff's probably difficult, but it should be in there. It looks like Ozzy Osbourne's also missing from the San Andreas soundtrack. Wow, the San Andreas one's missing a lot of music. Tom Petty, Running Down a Dream, Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name of, Tupac. Like, there's a lot of stuff missing on here that was in it. Yeah. Like,
if you're gonna do a cash grab, you're not gonna pay for that shit too.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, it's just interesting. But anyway, it's just like, yeah. The worst part about the, like, TJ, I think we talked about this the last time we talked about this. Maybe it wasn't even on a podcast. It's just the fact that they basically have like scrubbed the internet of any previous versions that existed.
Yes.
You know, and so it's like, what? But the nice thing is that I don't know if you read this, but there's a PlayStation 2 emulator that has there's been a lot of progress made very recently about that. And it sounds like a lot of so if you want to play the originals with the original music, that is still preserved, which is important. Mm-hmm. But also Rockstar apparently has been pushing a lot of DMCA notices to mod makers for Grand Theft Auto 4, which are leading people to believe that that will be remastered next and released. You know, so fuck the mod makers, keeping that game popular. Anyway. Anyway, yeah, we can end it.
Yeah.
I don't think I have anything else. Other than the fact that I played that new game. Forza Horizon.
Oh, I haven't downloaded that yet.
I got Game Pass, so I just get it. I get it automatically.
Yeah.
And then what was the other thing? Oh, what's the game? Packing? Is that the game?
Unpacking.
I
downloaded that.
That is on Game Pass as well, and it's fucking awesome. Look it up.
The game?
Yeah, Unpacking.
Okay.
It's a puzzle game.
It's a puzzle where you
Tetris.
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. So it's a game where you're basically playing through the memories of a person and all of the moving they've done, and you basically are doing the unpacking every time they move. But it's just
I'm still doing this in real life. I can't play this game.
It's the good part of unpacking though. It's everything major is unpacked. You just are figuring out where to put all the little doohickeys, and it just is very satisfying. Of like, here's the sock drawer and putting every sock in. It's like it's the organization I don't have in real life, but it tells the story.
Might be a game Kirsten would be interested in, actually.
Yeah,
it's just like a soothing like anxiety reducer.
Yeah, it's got like a 16-bit or maybe 32. It's got like kind of a retro pixely art aesthetic. I wouldn't say 16-bit. I would say like, to me, it looks like an old like PC adventure game kind of looking.
The other small one I downloaded Dicey Dungeons from
I need to try that too. I've seen that played and it looks really cool. But the idea is that you it's very like very meditative. Yeah, it's just like kind of exploring each little home and all the nooks and crannies and kind of figuring out where to put everything, and you get little achievements if you place things in the right place. For instance, there's a kitchen that you unpack things in once, and if you put like the cookies in a certain place, it's like you get an achievement for making the cookies hard to get. Basically, like so there's like little things of like that you can like discover, but it really tells like kind of a story through like seeing this person's like possessions change every time they move. Like the first place they got like a bunch of stuffed animals, and the second place only a couple of them made it, and like you're just kind of seeing the. It's just really cool. Like, and it's nice for I think it's $20 on Steam, but if you have Game Pass, it's free. And yeah, it's just a fun little meditative game, and it works pretty good on controller and TV. I was playing it. So.
One other quick thing I want to add to that.
Sure.
Add to Game Pass stuff. John, did you play way back in the day? Did you play any of the Mega Man Battle Network games for the Game Boy Advance?
I have all of them on my Ambernick.
Yes. Yep. But there is a game that, from the gameplay I've seen in its trailer, 100% inspired by Mega Man Battle Network, is One Step from Eden, which is battle takes place on a well, in Mega Man Battle Network, it's a 3x3 grid against a 3x3 grid, where you have to stay in your squares. You can move from square to square like regular movement, and then you got your basic attack, and then you use these like chips or cards to use special attacks that do more damage. One Step from Eden is just same thing, but not Mega Man. And they increase the size of the grids to 4x4.
Yeah, I see that. 4x4.
But it kind of plays as like a mix between a deck building card game and like a action / turn-based RPG, because it's really not turn-based. You actually have to do things actively.
Yeah.
It's very bullet hell like. But you're very limited with where you can move because you are just square to square to square to square. It's not just free movement in this area. I highly recommend the Mega Man Battle Networks. I really loved them.
I need to play that. I downloaded them, for reasons that I haven't. I'd like to try them out, and I played. What am I playing now? Oh, I really tried to get Final Fantasy Tactics Advance to work.
Advance, yeah.
It just keeps crashing, so I don't know if the file I have if the ROM I have isn't good, or if it needs to be fixed, because I know there's some ROMs that had extra hardware in them that need extra crap.
Oh, gotcha. Let me know, because I may have another file or something.
Yeah, when you should just send me a copy, because I'm just gonna try a different version than what I have, and maybe it'll run. Because I really like that. I remember playing that way back when, and I'd like to get into it. But I've been playing Ogre Battle Tactics, which is basically the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just this grid tactics game, and I've been enjoying that lately. But I think I'll have to pop up the Battle Network tonight then.
Yeah.
Go to bed.
Highly recommend it.
All right. Well, we should end now, though.
All
yes.
Right.
I don't know what this episode's going to be about. Just like the end of the universe.
Yeah.
That's where we got heavy.
No, the title is "Hey Matt, Nice Cock."
Thanks. You too.
Yeah, thanks. Website's bornofthe80s.net. You can find previous episodes there. Also join our Discord. That's discord.bornofthe80s.net. John, where can we find you on Twitter?
John_Danger.
Matt, your website?
MattHaigMusic.com.
And now that I'm almost done with this audit, find me on twitch.tv/MayofMay. Also, just anywhere else on the internet, just search May of May, and you can stalk me. Please don't stalk me. Talk to me on Discord instead.
And watch Mercury Stardust on TikTok.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Later, dudes.
That's another